Alright, so I'm about halfway through the wash. You can see this side I haven't done. So this side is how it was when I first started. And this side, as you can see, it's very dinged up, grubby looking and stuff. This is how the wash is transforming the truck into something a little bit more worn and seen the test of time. Once again, you know, this is how it is. And this is how it was. And we're gonna continue the process until the whole thing is done. You can go as dark as light as you want. It's just another coat on top of the base coats, water and paint, pretty much diluted paint, and just washing over top of everything. So then the next process, which is called dry brushing, things will start to pop out. You're just getting the darks in to show more depth. Well, I finished doing the wash on it. You can wash multiple times in between layers. You can do it as many times as you want. You can go as thick or as thin as you want. I wanted it very grungy looking, and you know, so as you can see, it's, you know, looks old and beat up, but it's still coming. I mean, that's just to start with. So once your wash is dried, you can start the dry brushing technique. Dry brushing is basically that. You only put a little bit of paint on your paintbrush, take a paper towel, and you make strokes on the paper towel till you can barely see the paint, and then you go lightly over top of the truck. What that's going to do is any raised detail is going to catch what little paint's on that, and it's going to bring it to the surface. So then you have your darks recessed in, and everything else is starting to pop. So with that, we are going to start dry brushing. Got my paper towel. Put that out of the camera. It's good to dry brush with a flat brush, but I don't have a flat brush, but I have a nice round one that I'm going to use. Flat brush is a little easier to just stay on the surface of the detail. So for all you beginners out there, I suggest a flat brush, not a round brush. And don't be afraid to, you know, if you make mistakes, you can always put a wash over it and recess it further in. And I'm getting some Codex Gray. I'm going to use that. There's another gray I had in this set. I got the bolt gun metal, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that. this Fortress Gray. I'm going to take out this Graveyard Earth Tone for later. With dry brushing, you want to work dark to light. Saving your metal tints till later though. So I'm starting off with this Codex Gray. I mean, it's all preference. A little bit of paint on my brush. Here's my paper towel. And I do the strokes until I don't see any paint. Barely any paint on there. Don't even know if the camera's going to catch it, but basically it's a very subtle thing. And you're going to have to dip your brush many times. I might have to go with a little bit of a lighter gray. Because that's almost the same color as my base coat. So I'm switching over. To a lighter gray. I don't know if you notice he's starting to pop. Because they're raised. You're not pressing down, you're just gently going over top of it. Same thing goes with this. Just go over top of it. I'm going on angles because it's easier for me. Once again, if you're going for this weathered look, I wouldn't worry too much about your stroke marks. I don't know if that's catching it. It's very subtle, the differences. You know, like I said, you can do many coats of this. Get it to just how you want it. And even later on, you can go back and add little touches. Now these are, that's what I've been working on in this. Popping a little bit. And you're just going over top of detailed areas. Just catching the ridges. That they run on. Actually, you know, I'm using grays and blacks on this truck. A little bit of browns, but you would notice it if it was like, you can use it for even regular paint schemes. I really wasn't being particular because I'm doing the weathered look, but these methods are for painting anything. What the wash does is get into crevices, so that it gives it that contrast that anything raised will pop. And I don't want it to pop too much. I want it to pop enough that it shows up. So you can see the detailed. I don't know if you can see it from there. I can see it from here. I'm hoping the users can see it from where they're at, but we'll slowly bring it to life. I know you're saying, what about the smokestacks? I have some stuff on order, and then I got custom make the smokestacks. They're gonna be flat black, so it doesn't much matter, and I'll add a little rust to them and things like that. But until I get what I have on order, I can't really do much with that. So, but they're gonna be behind all this, and I would have had to paint it anyhow. It's better to paint it when it's apart. Hopefully you're seeing that. Seeing it starting to pop. If I had a flat brush, it would work a little bit better. But it's still giving me my desired effect. Once again, dab a little paint on your brush, wipe it on a paper towel, and just go over top of the pieces so there's barely any paint on your brush, and it's just erased areas. Like that. Once again, I'm going to do quite a bit on this to save film time. I'm going to do it off the camera, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what I've done, the progress we have made. So I don't know if you noticed the difference, but here's the side I've been working on. See how they're popping out a little bit more? They're not all in. Same thing with the door handles and the edges. And once again, I am going for the grunge look. I don't want a brand new truck. I want this thing to be beat to hell. Rust and the elements got to it. But just to give you an idea, here's the side without me doing it. Now this side I haven't done any dry brushing on, and you can't really see any of the detail. I mean, you can see some of it, but you know, like you have to zoom in. Comparison. To this side, where I'm not really zooming in. This is me zooming in with the camera. This is me not. And you can still make it out. So we're going to continue this process on the other side. When we come back, we'll go do another step. So I continue that process, and I dry brushed the lighter colors on. Now I'm going to do another wash of this bolt gunmetal. Reason I'm doing another wash is that I'll give it some more metallic flake, scratches and a little bit more depth. Or I might do a dry brush. Either way, you can either do a wash or a dry brush. I'm actually debating about doing another dry brush of the bolt gunmetal, but it's going to have to be over top the whole truck. I'm not going to do that on the camera, but those are the two techniques I'm using right now, is dry brush and doing washes to obtain this worn look. So I'm going to continue on with my dry brushing and my washes, and we'll come back at a little later date when I've got more to show you. But that gives you something to work with and to begin your projects. Now, paint schemes all depend on your eye and what you're looking for. Like I said, I really just want a beat up looking truck. But we'll just continue on the next time. Well, next time we come back, or with the magic of camera, I should say. In a few minutes, this will be different. A few minutes of your time, hours of my time. I'm not going to film that whole process. But, it's a cold, rainy day today, so it's a good time to do this. See, now things begin to pop. I took some bright chrome paint and dry brushed it over top of everything. Not just the detail, but over top of the whole truck. So you can see the details popping. And I still got another coat to do. But that's what I meant about dark to light, and eventually you get it to where you're content with it. This looks really, really good at the moment. And still work in progress, Just dinged up, Looks like it's been through stuff. There's still other colors to add in, Little rust details, some browns, some yellows, But it looks like a work truck now. Obviously the bumper still looks... Well, the animal guard still looks bright. Not too sure on the techniques I'm going to use on that. I might have to take that off to do it by hand. But definitely a lot different. A couple more coats of dry brushing. That chrome over top. It should pop a little bit more. So, alright, so here's the thing. I weathered the truck. I can go further, and I can add browns and yellows, rust colors, and some different things to it to make it more weathered. But I really like how it looks right now. And until I get the smokestacks on, I think I'm going to hold off for a while before if I make a decision on whether I'm going to go extreme weathering or just leave it as is. Because it looks worn, which is the look I was looking for, but not like overly done, So with that, we'll wait and see. I might decide to go more extreme than I have, or I might decide to keep it the way it is. But I gave you some basic techniques for painting a hard plastic top, or models, or anything else you decided you wanted to paint. I mean, you can use these techniques. They're proven techniques from time to time. So, well, I thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you next time on Roughneck RC.